All right, we have some wild breaking news. A new leaked memo confirms that Donald Trump's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has been hiding a whistleblower complaint filed directly against her in 2025. This article reads, "Leaked memo blows lid off secret complaint that Gabbard kept hidden in a locked safe." That's not hyperbole. She quite literally locked this whistleblower complaint in a safe and said that it was a threat to national security. I'm guessing she's the threat to national security and she doesn't want other people to know. This whistleblower complaint was filed under the, quote, urgent concern category, but I guess it wasn't urgent enough for Tulsi Gabbard, who spent 8 months hiding it. Well, now that we know about it, the lawyers for this whistleblower are setting a deadline. They're saying, we are going to take this directly to Congress if you don't come out and give it to Congress yourself, because any whistleblower complaint that is an urgent concern goes directly to Congress. That is the law. So we're going to break this all down. We're going to break down who Tulsi Gabbard is and how this connects to the upcoming election that they are now trying to tamper with. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. It means the world. It helps us grow. And before we dig into this main article, let me introduce you to who Tulsi Gabbard is, because the more that you dig, the more that you look up old quotes of hers, you realize she's sort of just an enemy of the United States. Reminder from Chrome. Reminder that Tulsi Gabbard was a, quote, axis of resistance tier person who supported Assad, literally supported Assad, that regime, supported the Maduro regime, supports Russia and Vladimir Putin, quite literally as someone who is supportive of Vladimir Putin and Russia, but will try to muddy the waters, and then supports Iran. Not the people of Iran, but the regime. She supports totalitarian, authoritarian regimes. Here she is posting Russian nuclear war threat propaganda and hanging out with Jackson Hinkle, who's quite literally just openly funded by these terrorist groups, by the Kremlin. Jackson Hinkle one time did a college campus event and it said, "Change my mind. Vladimir Putin is the good guy." So these are just openly pro-Russia people. And you know, my family is from Syria. My grandpa's from Syria. So when somebody says, quote, "Assad is not the enemy of the United States," that means one of a few things. Either you're so dumb, you shouldn't talk about foreign policy or Syrian politics. Number two, you are genuinely a traitor and an enemy of the United States. Or number three, you are cruel and just support the genocide and gassing of human beings. Tulsi Gabbard was also seen in a secretive, weird photo taken last week speaking on the phone while standing inside a vehicle loaded with boxes outside the Fulton County Election Hub and Operations Center after the FBI executed a search warrant there. So this is very, very weird. The Director of National Intelligence, who has no supervision over elections or this sort of election integrity stuff, shows up at an election center in Fulton County, Georgia, a contested area that Donald Trump has attacked many, many times, and is secretly taking phones, likely talking to Donald Trump in this photo about the elections. Again, this is somebody who admires Vladimir Putin, somebody who will do the bidding of Donald Trump. And people have been speculating about what this whistleblower complaint could be, the one that is famously locked in a safe. Some people are saying it could be the fact that she is an agent for a foreign country. Some are alleging it could be that she gave up secrets to a foreign country. Some people think that Trump might be using this complaint as leverage over Tulsi Gabbard to have her do his dirty work via elections. I need more evidence for all of these because right now it's still up in the air, but these are all plausible to say the very least. Reminder, there is a whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard so sensitive it is, quote, said to be locked in a safe, and the administration has spent months trying to figure out how to inform Congress. They haven't informed Congress, and this is the crux of the problem. This is the crux of what is addressed in this Inspector General report that has leaked. Let's dig into this because it says the Director of National Intelligence alleged efforts to quash embarrassing allegations appear to be unraveling. A whistleblower complaint against Trump's spy chief, Tulsi Gabbard, was flagged for being of urgent concern. That is the first part that you need to know. And it was on its way to lawmakers before hitting a series of inexplicable roadblocks. DNI Tulsi Gabbard was then accused of playing games behind the scenes to keep the complaint under wraps, but a memo on the highly classified complaint attained by the Associated Press reveals the nature of the allegations against her. Filed on May 21st of 2025 by an intelligence official, the complaint alleged that Gabbard restricted distribution of highly classified intelligence reports for political purposes. So Let me just lay out what's happening here. There's a whistleblower complaint about a whistleblower complaint. A whistleblower is coming out and saying, I'm blowing the whistle because Tulsi Gabbard is hiding very, very sensitive, urgent documents. It's like whistleblowerception here. That is how deep the corruption is. And they call themselves transparent. It says, lawmakers only learned of the document's existence in November when the whistleblower's attorney shared a letter with Congress accusing Gabbard of stonewalling disclosure of the complaint. Now, we'll return to this in 1 second, but it's important to go and point out that the whistleblower's lawyers, the whistleblower who is saying that Tulsi Gabbard is hiding more whistleblower complaints, just threatened to go directly to Congress if Tulsi Gabbard doesn't respond with information on how they can relay the complaint to the Intelligence Committee. The information is said to be highly classified and has sparked months of wrangling over how to share it with Congress. He has top secret clearance. Let's read this very quickly. Via email through the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Director of National Intelligence, Dear Director Gabbard, on June 6 of 2025, in response to the Intelligence Community Office of Inspector General's correspondence, a copy of which is included as an enclosure, our client respected your office's direction on how to contact the Congressional Intelligence Committees consistent with appropriate security practices. So, to put it in normal words, it's saying, hey, we've been trying for 8 months now to get this whistleblower complaint to Congress. That is how we're supposed to do it, following the proper security protocols. And it says, as you are well aware, our client's disclosure directly impacts our national security and the American people. I think most American people severely underestimate how much this administration puts us in danger by appointing inexperienced, compromised people to these important positions. It says, to date, your office has provided us with zero guidance despite our earlier requests. Multiple earlier requests are being spiked by Tulsi Gabbard, the same Tulsi Gabbard that worried many European officials who said, we don't really want to cooperate with the United States with the way that Donald Trump is appointing people like Tulsi Gabbard. Literally, there were articles in French newspapers and U.S. newspapers saying that other world leaders thought Tulsi Gabbard was compromised and they worried about future cooperation with the United States. Look how that has manifested over the past year. Returning back to this, after the first whistleblower complaint was lodged, after it was first lodged, the acting inspector general of the intelligence community at the time quickly deemed it to be of urgent concern and found it to be true. We're going back to the urgent concern term. The anonymous whistleblower then gave the go-ahead for the complaint to be shared with the Congressional Intelligence Committee in keeping with federal law. But just 3 days later, quote, newly obtained evidence was presented that they then changed their mind on. They said, hey, we are not going to show this to Congress whatsoever. The Inspector General also claimed the overall process of the disclosure was delayed by last year's government shutdown. Gabbard's office, remember, fired the former Inspector General and then said the complaint is baseless and politically motivated and has decided not to share it whatsoever. The thing is, the protocol is to share it with Congress and let them decide. You don't get to unilaterally claim that something is baseless. Here's Caroline Leavitt in front of the White House yesterday talking about Tulsi Gabbard and nationalizing voting.
Is Tulsi Gabbard involved in a domestic law enforcement search in Georgia?
Tulsi Gabbard has been tapped by the President of the United States to oversee the sanctity and the security of our American elections. She's working directly alongside the FBI Director, Kash Patel. This is a coordinated whole-of-government effort to ensure that our elections, again, are fair and transparent moving forward.
I'm sorry, but a whole-of-government coordinated effort between Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, led by Trump with Caroline Leavitt as a spokesperson, does not instill much faith in these upcoming elections. But either way, it is more important than ever that we show up in numbers and we vote. They are going to try their tricks, but we can neutralize them via democratic means, the same way Newsom neutralized what Abbott did over in Texas with the 5 seats. Texas squeezed 5 seats out right ahead of the midterms, and California neutralized it. So it is possible to fight back throughout all of their weird tricks. I love you all. See you in the next video. Peace.